Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are back to talk about Love is Blind Season 9, Episode 10. I'm only on 10, y'all, so don't spoil it for me. I'm feeling hopeful, everyone. I'm feeling hopeful that we may get a couple, and I'm going to put my money on Megan and Jordan. It's looking good, y'all. It's looking a whole lot better, but the reason why I think it's looking a whole lot better is because I think some changes that Megan made. And we're going to talk about the changes she made that I think might have her where she needs to be, and that's with Jordan. So, but before we get to Megan and Jordan, before we get to KB and Edmund, before we get to Joe and Madison, we got to first talk about Annie and Nick. Goodbye, Annie and Nick. We happy to see them go because we was tired of them. Well, I was tired of them. I was tired of Annie needing to hear that somebody loved her every 10 seconds. It was exhausting. I'm not a big fan of Nick, and I know he was annoyed, and I was annoyed too. I was not only annoyed at her constant need for reassurance. Annie's like a bottomless brunch mimosa. And her I love you, need for I love you was like bottomless. She can't get enough. And that hair, I had enough of that hair too. I was glad to see that hair go. Isn't Annie a whole hairstylist? Don't she have a whole hair salon? Annie, I don't know if you put every bundle in your shop in your head. It's too much, Annie. Annie does too much, period. Okay? The need for I love you was too much. Them hair bundles was too much. In fact, this episode, I think Annie was drunk. Honestly, I believe she was drunk. And Nick had to tell her, I said what I said when I said it. I don't want you, girl. I'm not marrying you, and I'm not going to no altar with you, and there ain't nothing you can do to make me get there. You're going to need to accept this, Annie. And if they're throwing a full-on temper tantrum, saying you need to try, don't nobody need to try with you, Annie, girl. You need some therapy, some help, Annie. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Nick. I'm really not. And even Nick had to say, haven't we dragged this out enough? This tells you that these two knew that they weren't a match. They knew it. And what Nick finally said was, I can't drag this out any longer. I can't pretend. I can't keep just pretending to be on this show. This has got to stop. And it stops today. Nick said, I'm going back to Brokeback Mountain because I'm tired of playing this game with you, Annie. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to marry you. And you know what? I was happy to see it end. I really was happy to see it end. And then we got to see the unraveling of Allie and Anton. Allie, the alcohol police, she was counting drinks over there. You are married to a Russian, Allie. Don't they love to drink vodka? I don't know. She over there counting Anton's drinks, 2 beers in the morning, a half bottle of tequila. Allie said, wait a minute, what's going on? I know. She basically calling him an alcoholic. I don't know. And Anton is saying, I ain't no alcoholic just because I drink a 12-pack of beer in a day and also a half bottle of tequila don't make me an alcoholic. Well, maybe it wasn't a day. Maybe it was 2 days. I'm going to tell you, Anton was lying because when Anton said that Patrick came over and they drank the beers, and then, what, you took beers downstairs? I don't know, Anton. That story wasn't holding up. I'm believing Allie. You drank all them beers and all that tequila. And Allie at first was like, maybe I'll try to give it a go because he liked Anton's mama and Anton's mama liked her because she was a Christian. But this ain't going to work. This ain't going to work. Anton was eating that food. His whole face was in that food. So he says, I don't do nothing half-ass, Allie. I don't drink half-ass and I don't eat half-ass. This is how I do. I go all in. I put my whole face in it. You know what? I know I'm putting money on Megan and Jordan, and we're going to get to that. But I can't put no money in Allie and Anton. I still don't see it. I do not see a Hail Mary coming. And Anton said, you can sit over here and talk about me, about the fact that I drink too much. Well, you dirty and you don't clean up after yourself. You don't even do your own laundry. And Allie stood on business. She goes, you right, I sure don't, and ain't nothing changing. Allie know how to draw a boundary. Allie does not apologize for nothing wrong about her, but she definitely gonna hold you accountable. She draws some strict boundaries on other people, but not herself. This ain't gonna work because Anton said, how am I gonna be paying all the bills, drinking all the liquor, and cleaning up after you? This ain't gonna work. I don't see it, y'all. I really don't see it. But I'm gonna play my introduction video. When I come back, we're gonna have to talk about Megan and Jordan, what I think was the difference. And also we're gonna have to talk about KB and Edmund. Goodness gracious. See you in a minute. So we back. We're gonna have to talk about Megan and Jordan. Like I said, I got my money on them. I got my money that they're gonna make it, because what I think Megan has done is she's made a shift. She's made a fundamental shift in the way that she sees life and the way that she sees partners in her life, men in her life. And let me tell you what the difference was. It was the death of her father, right? I said this on another show that I reviewed, which is Heart and Hustle, because a young lady on there lost her daddy too. And when daddy's girls lose their fathers, a big part of them dies. They lose a lot of love that was in their life, a lot of love. Their father gave them a lot of love. They lose it. But you know what? They grew up knowing what it felt like to be loved. They knew it. And when you lose it, you want it back. You do. You want it back. When your father's alive and you're a daddy's girl, you know what? He makes up for a lot of things that men out here in the street can't do or do wrong. Because when the men out here ain't acting right, a daddy's girl says, so what? My daddy loved me. When the men out here ain't buying the things you want, so what? The daddy girl said, that's okay. My daddy will get it for me. When the men out here aren't encouraging you and lifting you up and telling you you can do all things in life, that's okay, because your daddy telling you. But then when your daddy dies, you say, oh my goodness, where's that man in my life? And it makes you concentrate on your love life more. It makes you start to realize, what do I really need? You know, my daddy raised me, you know, we grew up, we're strong, we're confident, we're ambitious. We went out in the world, we tackled the world. So most oftentimes, daddy's girls make good money sometimes. If they're not the spoiled bratty type. Megan went out in the world with confidence and made money. And then she liked to date men that had money. And what she realized was, you know what I'm really missing? I ain't missing money. I got money. I'm missing love that my daddy used to give me. And so now I think Megan has turned her sights and said, you know what the love I want? I want the same love that Jordan has for his son, Luca. That's what I want in my life. That's what I want. And she's making the conscious decision to say, I'm going to choose the love of this man over the fact that he don't have the money that I'm used to having. And I think she's happy, y'all. I really believe she's happy. I mean, sometimes it gets a little weird. It's almost like Megan thinks her daddy is reincarnated in Luca. So does that sister. But I think the connection she's making are the feelings, the emotional feelings of love. And I think that's what she wants. She said, you know what? It's a lot. It's going to be a lot to be a step parent of a son that has type 1 diabetes. But I think she's going to put in the hard work, because I think she's a hard worker. And I think she's going to lean into it, because what she really wants is she wants the love. And honestly, I think she really wants to make money too. And so I think Jordan's going to be a better fit for her now that she has accepted it. When she wasn't accepting it, she kept thinking what she really wants is money. That's really her. Like, she thought that was her love language, giving gifts and getting gifts. Now she realized her love language is quality time. That's what she's realizing is her love language. And what she's saying is, rich men who are running the world, building billion-dollar companies, they don't always have a lot of time. So I got my money on Megan and Jordan. I'm going to bet on them. I'm going to bet on them that they're going to make it, and that they're going to say yes at the altar. That's how far I'm going to go. They're going to definitely say yes at the altar, and I hope they make it down the line. But we know who didn't make it. We know who else crashed out and burned and didn't make it, and that was Joe and Madison, and thank goodness, because I'm tired of looking at them too. I knew very early on that Joe was not interested in this woman. And basically, he had to get drunk to sleep with her because he was not sexually attracted to her. Has Joe ever slept with Madison sober? I don't think so. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. And finally, Joe said, I've had enough of this. I can't do it. I can't lie no more. I can't keep putting on a charade, a facade. I'm out of here. This is too much pressure. He should have done a long time ago before he invited his whole family and his whole neighborhood to meet Madison. This was ridiculous. It really was ridiculous. So he skipped out. He said, he skipped out. I'm out of here. I'm going to go jump in my truck and I'm getting the hell out of here because this ain't for me at all. I'm tired of lying. And he told them, he says, listen, I have a habit of staying in relationships in which I'm miserable in. He told us he was in a relationship for 5 years and he was miserable. Even Madison's face, when she heard that, looked a little scared because what she knew was he was doing it again. He was in a relationship in which he was miserable. So Joe tells us that he's able to fake the funk for at least 5 years. But he said, not this time. I'm not faking the funk for 5 years. I done faked it maybe for 5 weeks, but that's it. That's my limit. I'm out of here. Bye, Joe. Bye, Madison. We happy you gone. And let me tell you who else need to say goodbye to each other. KB and Edmund. They need to say goodbye to each other. Because KB is rude, she's disrespectful, and she's condescending. And her tone is not appropriate. I'm going to tell you something, KB. It's okay for you to express your feelings, your emotions. That part I'm not going to have that big of a problem with, except some parts, which I'm going to get to. But your tone, your delivery is disrespectful, it's rude. And what I would do if you were talking to me like that is draw a boundary around you real quickly that says, listen, I'm willing to listen to you. I'm willing to have a conversation with you, but I will not have it when you talk to me like I'm a child. You talk to me rudely and you're condescending and disrespectful. You're going to have to change first, KB, before I listen to you. That's right. That's what I would say to you, KB. And I know KB wants everything her way. She's trying to pretend like it's Edmund who wants everything his way, but it's not the truth. It's not the Edmund has been trained on how to cater to a woman because he's trained on how to cater to his mama. He's been trained how to cater to his mama. So when KB brings up this ridiculous argument that why do I have to bring up the elephant in the room, Edmund is dumbfounded. He said, wait a minute. I wanted to talk about our problems, but when I try to talk about our problems, you shut it down. You walk away. You tell me to shut up. But then you're trying to say you're the only one that wants to talk about the problems. That's not true. Then she says, why are you laughing? Why is it so funny to you? It's not funny. It's ironic. It's almost borderline crazy. That's why I'm laughing, because the shit sound crazy, KB. Edmund has been trying to talk to you. We saw him begging and pleading. We all saw it. It's on tape. You was the one silencing him, shutting him up, walking away. You're not talking about the elephant in the room, KB. You are the elephant. You're the one that we need to talk about. She says, well, the reason I didn't listen to you because you had done 4 or 5 things wrong. What difference does that make? If he had done 4 or 5 things wrong, that's more reason why you need to talk to him. But you didn't do that. She said, you know what? Let me tell my story of how you unaccountable. And when I talk, I don't want you to interrupt me. There it goes again, KB. Disrespectful, rude, condescending, and you want him to shut up. Girl, you got issues. What you want to be, KB, is you want to be in charge. That's what you want to be. You want Edmund to be at your beck and call. And let me tell you something. This other little story you told about running errands because you trying to state your case on national TV so we all on your side. I ain't on your side. I ain't on your side. And you know why I'm not on your side? Because you got yourself in that situation. Let me tell you how you got yourself there, KB. And you know how I know how you got yourself there? Because I've done it myself in the past. You know what it looks like? It looks like when a woman or anyone, let me not even say a woman, when a person overschedules their life, they doing too much, okay? You pack your day with way too many things to do. Next thing you know, you running behind. Like you said, you running behind. You can't get all your stuff done. You done packed too much stuff in your life, right? You never asked for help earlier on. You didn't ask for help early enough. But now all of a sudden you're overwhelmed. And what you do is in the 11th hour, you call Edmund and say, I need a bailout. I need you to spring into action. And within 30 minutes, 911, go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that, go do this, get this, go do that. And what Edmund said was, no, I'm not doing that. I need to be calm and centered. I'm already a person that's antsy and high wired, right? I don't want to be rushing. I don't want to be late. I don't want to be in that space, KB, the one you're in. And then all of a sudden, did KB understand that part? No. What she wanted was, why can't you cover me and help me? Once again, why can't you save me? We're back to the spider in the house. Okay? We're back to the big buff man. A man grabbed me in the club. Now, why didn't Edmund save me from myself when I was overwhelmed and I couldn't get all my stuff done? Why didn't he spring into action? And she's equating it to his manhood once again. But Edmund drew a boundary on you. That's what he did. And you didn't like the boundary. You didn't like the boundary. So now when you are accusing Edmund of it being about him, actually, KB, it's really about you. Because if we ask Edmund, did you need all that stuff to go to the Western? Edmund might say, no, I didn't need none of that. Therefore, KB, you were doing it for yourself. You were getting all that stuff for you. Edmund never wanted it, because if it was important to Edmund, then maybe he would have sprung into action. But what he told you was, that wasn't important to me. That wasn't even for me. That was for you. You see? And then what you hear KB talking about is, then I got to come home and do my hair and makeup and I'm hungry. Once again, you. See, she keeps saying Edmund's talking about him, because she cheered him on while he was riding the bull, right? But every time KB frames something in terms of it being for Edmund, really who it's there for is for her. You see, she really was trying to nail him to the wall about, you need to apologize. You need to apologize. Apologize to me, right? And so Edmund's saying, I did apologize, and I have been trying to apologize to you. I've been saying it over and over. No, apologize this way. Say it this way. Apologize for that, for this and that. But then when Edmund said, okay, I apologize for all these things, but I also want you to say something nice to me. Did we hear anything nice from KB initially? No. Edmund must have had to ask 10 times for her to say something nice to him. And then when she finally formed her lips to say something nice, when she said, you're intelligent and you're smart, she gave him a backhand compliment and said, but you use your intelligence and smart not in the right way. Girl, that ain't a compliment. That's a backhanded compliment. You intelligent and you smart, but you act so dumb. That's kind of really what you said, KB. That ain't a compliment. And then when you went on later to say that you got big dreams and you got big manifestations, that's not a compliment to Edmund, because that's just another way in which you're really trying to frame things in a way in which Edmund is just a tool for you to get what you want. Edmund is there to be in service to you, to get what you want, to make you happy. That's how you view him. You see, that's how you view him. And maybe that's because you didn't have a dad in your life and you don't know what real love looks like or feels like. So you're grasping at different ways in which you want it to look like. And what you believe love should look like is a man doing everything for you that you need or you want. And that's not all what love looks like. You haven't seen it modeled. And so therefore you're creating an image in your head. And the way you think love should look is all this protection, but from a big buff guy, killing spiders in the house, and then doing whatever you want him to do, even when you're the person who gets yourself in a big old mess. KB, you're not seeing yourself. And not only are you not seeing yourself, you're condescending, you're rude, you're disrespectful. And I'm going to tell you what, that type of language shouldn't fly even if you were talking to a female. It's just not the way that you present your ideas, your emotions to a person, telling them, I need you to be quiet and don't interrupt me and let me finish. The tone, asking to not be interrupted, that's okay. That's okay. But the tone, KB, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. So although these women went and said yes to the dress, Nick said no to the woman. Joe is saying no to the woman. And I know Edmund ain't going to say no to KB. I don't think he is. I think he's going to say yes to her. But I wish he would say no. But I know Edmund is going to want to try to keep this together because Edmund knows how to chase a woman for love because he's been chasing his mother his whole life. And he don't want to be alone. He wants to do whatever it needs to take for KB to stay in his life. But KB likes to punish people when she doesn't get the type of love she wants to have. So although Nick walked away before the altar, and although Joe walked away from the altar, what I suspect is KB gonna save it for the very end, the very last moment, up at that altar, and then she gonna walk away from Edmund. Because when she don't get what she wants, she knows how to withhold love. That's why she's withholding sex and everything else to punish Edmund because she knows what he wants the most. And the big finale is going to come. I believe it's going to come at this altar. And she going to step all over Edmund's heart. Just like she steps on him right now with her words. She going to do it at that altar. Get ready, y'all. It may be horrible. It may be really hard to watch. That's what I believe. I think KB might go in on Edmund. I hope she don't. I hope I'm wrong. But something tells me she might go in on him at that altar and tell him everything that's wrong with him and everything he didn't do and everything how he didn't make her feel. I don't know. And I ain't getting good vibes, y'all. I'm really not. But anyway, I'm going to watch the next episode and I'll be back to talk to y'all about it. Talk to you later. Bye.